Well, hello there. Whiskey battle time. Time to slog it out. This is a proper slog out. This is a different type of whiskey battle. This is going to be a dirty fight. This is two whiskies that fight dirty. Two dirty whiskies, man. I have the Glencoe, McDonald's of Glencoe, blended malt whisky, and it's taken on a single malt whisky in the form of the Edradour Ballechin. It's an unchill filtered range. It's the Signatory vintage. It's 2007. 12 years old, 8 years old, both coming in at 58% ABV and both natural colour. So, absolutely fantastic. Really looking forward to this. This is a real battle. It's got some dirty whiskey taking on some heavily peated whiskey. But that heavily peated whiskey is damp, dunnage, dirty. It's dirty Edradour. I've got dirty Ben Nevis going in here as well. So there's two awesome whiskies. I've got an 8-year-old and a 12-year-old. Can't wait to get into these. This is going to be a proper battle. These two are going to slog it out. Punch for punch, glug for glug. Can't wait. I'm excited already, folks. I hope you can see it. But because I've really been looking forward to this one. I think this is going to bring my little current season to an end with the peaty whiskies, but I want to put a peaty whiskey against a dirty whiskey. So they're both two Highland whiskies. This Glencoe, the McDonald's of Glencoe, has been around for a long time. As I say, it's a blended malt, and I think it's majority Ben Nevis in this one. So right away, you know it's going to be dirty. I think it's very, very mysterious. You can't find a lot of information around of it. It's been around, as I say, from the 60s. This is a new bottling. They've designed the bottle to bring it more in line with Ben Nevis. So absolutely fantastic looking bottle. I do believe it's 100 times better than the old bottle. And I have a sample here of the Edradour Ballechin 2007. It's a Ballechin 12, 58%. This was very, very generously gifted to me, one of the Manchester Whisky boys, Mr. Gabriel Winding. So thank you very much for that, Gabriel. Can't wait with these two. Colour wise, big difference in colour. I think the Edradour's the darker of the two. Lots of sherry in this as well. So we're bringing in heavily peated. We're bringing in sherry butts. We're bringing in dirty malts. We're bringing in Ben Nevis. Wow, what a fight. And we're bringing in 58%. So there's not much difference in the tape. They've both got the same 58% ABV. Both non-chilled, both non-coloured. So it's all good. All fantastic. Nothing left for me to do, except can I just get on with it, stop waffling, get into the whiskies. Just before I do it, guys, just a bit of friendly reminder from me to thee. If you're a returning subscriber, then thank you very much and welcome back. If you're so happy to pop in for the first time and whiskey's your thing, then you've landed on the right channel. You may want to hit that subscribe button down below, guys. Just a friendly reminder. It's completely free, still doesn't cost you anything, and you're still helping the channel massively on its way to the magical 6k. Can't believe we're that close, heading up to 6 now. I've got a new hat on. Big thanks to Marty at the Whisky Nose channel, guys. If you've not checked out Marty's channel, dive over and have a look at his channel. Fantastic. He's doing a bit of Scotch now. He's more of a bourbon channel, but he's trying to mix up some Scotch in amongst there. Nice new hat, look at that. I've got rid of that mash and drum hat now, so I'm on the Whisky Nose hat for a bit. And they've been covered up, guys. Two whiskies. I've got coin 188, batch 3 Whiskey Friend battle coins. I've got 187 on the Glencoe of the McDonald's of Glencoe. Been covered up, guys, for the last hour or so. You've probably noticed the new Whiskey Friend glasses as well. I'll pop all the links into the description, guys. If you want to pick up some coins, if you want to pick up some glasses, or you want to pick up both, dive into the comments down there. Dive into the description down below. So that's all the rubbish is out the way now, guys. Let's get on to the whiskies. I know you're looking forward to these. I hope you're looking forward to as much as I am. So I'm going to start with the McDonald's of Glencoe. So I'm going in with the Ben Nevis. Wow, nice. There's that dirtiness. Wow, it's earthy, it's damp, it's dirty. Slight sulphur note in there as well, folks. So if you're a little matchstick, and a matchstick note on the nose there. Big sherry hit. Nice sherry note going on there as well. it's got a high ABV at 58% ABV, so it gives you a little bit of a, I wouldn't push your nose in too far in, but the nose is big. It's like the ABV, the whiskey's big. These are two big punchers. They're going to punch it out and slog it out. So, yeah, it's industrial. It's earthy, it's damp, it's dirty, it's dunnage. That mechanics overall note is there. Some rubber. There's a real rubber note in there as well. Wow. But the sherry's in there. Once you get past it, once you get past that initial nose, guys, just a quick disclaimer. If you're new to whiskey, please continue to watch the whiskey, because this will give you some real good advice. This will give you whiskies to avoid in the early part of your journey. If you're further on in your journey, this will give you a wee bit of advice for whiskies you should sort out. If you're ready for that next challenge, that next step, if you're ready to get in with these two, then follow the video on, because this is going to get interesting. Yeah, it's dirty, it's industrial, it's earthy, it's damp, it's dunnage, it's all of that, as I've said, but it's a really nice meaty note in there as well. If you're looking for a meaty whiskey, then this MacDonalds of Glencoe is definitely one of those. Big puncher, big hitter, but once you get past the initial, I'd probably state again, guys, if you nose this, if you're nosing whiskey for the first time and you nose this, you'd probably never nose whiskey ever again. But yeah, it's dirty, it's muddy, but at the same time, there's this beautiful sweetness coming through. Lovely honey, sticky honey. It's floral. That heather, there's a heather note there. Wow. But it's hot, it's spicy, there's a ginger note, maybe some chili, but it's fruity. So much going on. Maybe a little bit of that fruity, is dried fruit, dark fruit, maybe some raisin. Wow, but it's all going on in this nose. A little bit nutty, nice nutty note there as well. As you're really getting into it, there's so much to search through, fight past, push this one out the way, and then the nuts come in, and the little bit of matchstick notes there. But guys, this might, on the initial nose, it may be sounding as if it's a real nasty piece of work. And in a way it is. It's a nasty whiskey, it's a dirty whiskey. It's punchy. But at the same time, once you get past all those things, and if you're a Ben Nevis fan, if you're a cask strength whiskey fan, guys, and you're further down your road, you'll love this stuff. But such a nice nose. That's fruity. There's a little bit of fruit in there, a little bit of dark fruit, maybe some red apple. But it's nutty as well. I think it smells like it's going to be a little bit salty. But some ginger there, some chili. It's just a real mixed bag on the nose. I wouldn't say it's the nicest nose I've ever nosed, but let's see if the palate matches up. Just a quick tip on this one, folks. If you've not tried this one and you're going to try it, what I normally do is send it down the hatch. Be careful with this one. Don't take big gulps down the hatch with this one. This is a sipping whiskey. We're all about responsible drinking here on the Whiskey Friend channel, so I'm going to have a little sip of this one. I'm going to slightly send this one down the hatch. So let's get into this. That was worth waiting for. I just did that much waffling there. Built myself up. I'm just ready to tackle it now. It's spicy. It's a big arrival. It's punchy arrival. Funnily enough, it sips easier. With that little sip, at that 58%, drinks a little bit better. It noses if it's going to be really punchy. 58%'s there, but it's a nice, delicate arrival, velvety, rich, earthy. Then it builds and builds, the intensity builds, the spice come in, it's hot on arrival, a little bit rough, a little bit aggressive, but Once you get past that, it's so easy. Some pears come in, some juicy fruit comes in, tinned pears, maybe tinned peaches. The reason why I'm saying juicy tinned pears, because it has that metallic note as well in there as well. So it's a wee bit more, the industrial still there, the metallic note's still there, but it's fruity, it's juicy, but it's a tinny fruit juice. It's so complex. It's such a complex whiskey. Velvety arrival, punchy, complex. Sherry notes are there, the dried fruit, dark fruit, figs, raisins, all that kind of stuff are in there, but it's mixed in amongst all the dirty. It's like dirty fruit, it's dirty apples, it's all sorts of dirtiness going on, guys, and I know dirty is going to be the key word. So I think definitely on the thumbnail I'm going to have dirty whiskey on there somewhere. But that's such a wonderful. Let me have another sip of this, guys. Let's see how we're getting on. This is not going to be the quickest video, as you can probably tell already. It's muddy, it's damp, it's dunnage, it's dry, spicy, challenging. It's a real challenging whiskey. It's rough and aggressive. Second sip is not quite as rough. I'm not going to add water today, folks, because the video will just last forever, but it does. I would be careful, don't put too much water. I know it's 58%, but it's delicate with the water. Don't put a lot of water in it. What the water does is it makes it much, much sweeter. It's a real sweet whiskey as it is. The water makes it a little bit fruitier, and it brings that real rubber note in a wee bit more. It becomes a wee bit more tiry, a wee bit more rubber, burnt rubber, that kind of idea. So brings a little bit of the sulphur out. So I'm preferring it without the water. That's probably why I'm not adding it. Let's do a little bit for the finish, folks. Then we'll get on to we'll tackle the other one. Nuttiness. It's dry. Let's do a bit for the finish. Definitely, as you have more sips, you definitely acclimatise to it. 58% would probably scare you off, but it's quite an easy sip at 58%. The idea is not to take too big a gulp of it. If you take a little sip, then it's perfect. It's dry, it's spicy, a little bit of oak in there, although it has an 8-year-old age statement. Got to tip your hat to the McDonald's at Glencoe and Ben Nevis, putting an 8-year-old age statement on it. Absolutely fantastic. The finish, dry, but it's so sweet, so fruity. It's still fruity, it's fruity all the way through. The texture's there, the heat's there, it keeps up. It keeps its intensity all the way through. It's just an absolutely awesome pour, folks. Such a wonderful whiskey. It retails round about. I know it's a wee bit tougher to get a hold of from time to time, because I think Ben Nevis don't put out as much of it as this. I think a lot of it goes across to Japan. A lot of the spirit goes to Japan. But yeah, this, if you can manage to pick it up, it's round about that kind of 35 to 45 pounds, which is for that kind of quality of whiskey. And then it's a blended malt as well, so I'm not too sure what the other malt is. I do believe there's a couple of malts in here, but Ben Nevis is definitely, I'd say Ben Nevis is the majority of it. It doesn't quite taste as an 8-year-old whiskey. It tastes older than 8, so I'm presuming that maybe the other distillery that's in it, the unnamed distillery that's in it, it's probably a little bit older than 8 years. So just to top that up. But yeah, it's predominantly Ben Nevis. That's where the dirty malts coming from, the dunnage, that petroleum and rubber and everything that you can imagine is dirty. Wow, what a whiskey. Anyway, let's move on to the Edradour. How do you follow that? I think this one's going to pack a punch as well, guys, so I'm looking forward to this one. Wow, look at that beautiful colour. Definitely, I think this is sherry bot. Refill X sherry bot in this one. So there's right the difference. Now we're going to the peat. So we've got the peat in here, the smoke, the earthiness, the... Wow. Again, but it's Edradour, so you know that you're going to get that dirtiness there as well. So it's a dirty Edradour, dirty sherry, if that makes sense. Wow. But again, on this one, guys, there's a beautiful, beautiful honey note on this one also. But this is a sticky honey, sticky, thick. So much fruit in this as well. Once you get past that peat and smoke, the bonfire smoke in it is wonderful. It's earthy, it's dirty, it's malt. That Edradour malty characters here as well. That damp dunnage. Picking up a little bit of a pickled onion note in this one, which I find a wee bit unusual, but it doesn't surprise me, because if you were to nose these dirty Edradours, then you can find all sorts of stuff in here. But I'm picking up a little bit of pickled onion note in this one. A little bit savoury, a little bit earthy. But it's such a sweet, sweet nose as well. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. So, again, 58% ABV. Not too sure how much this one costs, because I got it as a sample, but I don't think it's mega, mega expensive. It may be a wee bit tougher to get a hold of, because I think it may be one of the Edradour single casks. So I'm not too sure when if it's still available anywhere. But Gabriel might dive into the comments and let us know if they're still available. Maybe a wee bit more on the info. How many bottles and stuff such as that. Guys, just be while you're watching, don't forget to hit that like button, guys. Let's see if we can get a couple of 100 likes on this one. That'd be great if I could get that one. But yeah, let's send this one down the hatch. Cheers. Wow, there's a punch. Punchy. 58%. Much, much drier. Much more sherry influence in this one. It's dry, it's punchy. It's building. Here comes the intensity. Spiciness. The sherry. Wow. It's chewy. Chewy toffee. Sticky toffee. Hard toffee. Some caramel. Wow. Big, big burst of smoke right through the mid palate. I don't know where that smoke came from, but that beautiful bonfire smoke. Distant bonfire. Wow. Salty, but it's sweet, it's salty, it's savoury. Let's take a second sip of this. Again, it's rich. It's 12-year-old, this one. Dry, velvety, wonderful texture, thick, creamy, buttery, toffee, treacle maybe, even bordering, maybe not bordering quite as much as treacle, but it's a real dark toffee. Some dark fruit, dried fruit, raisins, those kind of sherry influences. But it's so sweet and floral on the nose as well. But the palate is just oozing with stuff. It's complex again. This is as good a battle, I think, as I've done for a long, long time, folks. These two are just slugging it out at each other. But they're both, they have that on the nose. They've got those beautiful, well, not so beautiful. They've got those dirty and dank and earthiness and all that stuff that you really don't want to smell. You may go to a tip and you smell a tip. Or it's the mechanics overalls, the rubber, just the damp, the dunnage. There's just so much dirtiness going on with these two whiskies. And then when you taste them, they're so different. They're beautiful, they're complex, they're tasty, they're full of flavour, they're full flavoured, they're everything that you would want in a whiskey, and a cast strength whiskey is going on in it. Even me as a non-peat lover, I'm loving this Ballechin. I'm loving the Ben Nevis. I might tackle another little Ben Nevis. I think I've got time, guys. I've got another Ben Nevis 80 here, but look at that dark sherry one there. That's a Cadenheads one, so if I've got time later on, I might throw that into the mix as well. So But let's do a little bit on the finish of the Ballechin. This is a really nice Ballechin. I've Ballekhins before and they weren't quite there for me, but I think this is spectacular, and I think it's the sherry butts that's doing this for me. But let's have a little final bit for this for the finish. It's really, really smoky throughout. All the way through, the smoke's there. But it's beautifully balanced, beautifully integrated. There is a wonderful balance with this because the ABV is super, super high, but honestly, you wouldn't know. I've tasted less ABV than this that comes in punchier. This is just right at 58. Absolutely wonderful. Both of them have nailed it bang on at 58, and they're such an easy 58 to sip. I wouldn't take, as I said before, guys, I wouldn't take them in big sips. But this is so smoky, the Ballechin. It's salty, it's sweet, beautiful sweetness throughout. Lots of toffee, lots of caramel, lots of honey. The sweetness is there all the way to the very end, guys. It's such a wonderful, wonderful whiskey. Now, how do you split these two? How do you... I just watched the Josh Taylor fight at the weekend. That seemed a wee bit of a split decision going on there. This is similar. This is do I go with the Ben Nevis or do I go with the Edradour? I'm a big Edradour fan. I've not had that much Ben Nevis, but I love Ben Nevis. I'm just purely going to score these two guys, right? As I see them tonight, as I see them today, and as I've tasted them in this glass. I have spent a wee bit more time with the Ben Nevis, the McDonalds of Glencoe, because I've gone through that. I've had this now about 6 months. I've gone through that quite well. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's damp, it's dirty, it's messy outside, so it's the perfect time to be drinking these whiskies. I've got the heating on down here. Everything's great. I'm having a fantastic time today recording. This is one of my... I've really, really enjoyed this video. It's one of the ones I've enjoyed most for a long, long time. I've enjoyed most of the videos, but I'm particularly enjoying this one. Yeah, score-wise, how do they score them? Okay. I'm going to come in. Both of them are fantastic. I've thoroughly enjoyed both of them. There is, in this little series I've gone, they're pretty much as good as anything I've tried. All those peated whiskies, these two are right up there. They're young. I think most of the whiskies I've done are quite young anyway. But I'm going to score the Edradour Ballechin. I'm going to score that a 90 out of 100. I'm quite happy, easily a 90. I think it'd be a wee bit of a travesty if I put it under 90. So I'm going to give it a 90 out of 100. When I come to the McDonalds of Glencoe, I'm going to score this one a 92 out of 100 because it's such a wonderful, wonderful. I think in the long term for you guys, I think value for money, I think they're both excellent value for money. Not too sure what the Ballechin is, but if it's part of the unchilled filter range, what I think it is, then I don't think they tend to be that expensive. This McDonalds of Glencoe, yes, it's a blended malt. So how's the blended malt coming out against the single malt? I'm going to score it higher. I think this is still all malt, but it's not a single malt. So I'm going to get a blended malt scoring 92. Doesn't make any difference to me. A score's a score, whether it's a blended malt or a single malt. It's 92 out of 100. Just pips the Ballechin. Value wise, it's that 35 to 45 pound mark. Yes, granted they're both going to be a little bit tough to get hold of, but any of these distilleries, guys, if you're into it, if you fancy Edradour, if you've not tried any Edradour whiskey before, dive all over Edradour. They've got a mix of both. You've got your kind of sherry whiskies, and you've got your kind of dirty sherry whiskies, and you have your kind of peated. The Ballechin's the peated range at Edradour, so just look out for some Ballechin's. This McDonalds of Glencoe, yes, it pops up from time to time, so you need to have a look out for it. If you do see it, guys, and you see it at the time of when you want to get it, I'd pick up a couple of bottles because you're not going to be disappointed. Initially, it may be a wee bit rough and aggressive, but give it some time, let it settle in the glass, give it an hour or so in the glass, give both of them an hour or so in the glass. You'll love these whiskies. So let's do a wee bit of the Ben Nevis while I'm here. I've shown you it, so I may as well dive in and give it to you. This is a bottle I shared with Mr. Justin Adams. We were visiting Cadenheads in Edinburgh and we picked this one up, but look at that. Yeah, that's just crazy, isn't it? 8-year-old, 56.6% ABV. Look at that colour. I know I've stuck it in an Edradour glass, but there you go. There's that dirty Edradour, that kind of petroleum, mechanics walking into a garage, mechanics overalls, coming home and he's taking his overalls off to have a shower. That's that dunnage, dank, dirty, but that beautiful sherry colour. I'm not too sure what the sherry influence is, but it looks to me like that must be, that's got to be pretty much first fill sherry, that, but I'm not too sure. But nose wise, it's the usual, it's Ben Nevis. But this, again, that sweetness is there. The sherry's just adding that kind of, with the Ben Nevis spirit and the sherry cask influence, I think they work beautifully hand in hand. I'm not going to score this one, guys, by the way, because I don't think it's too fair. This is just going to be a quick kind of dive in and a little taste. Just to pass a wee bit more time, but yeah, let's sip it. Oh, that's so nice. Again, 56.6 comes in. The difference with this one, this is so much. The sherry is massively dominating this. The power's there with the ABV, with the spirit. So the Ben Nevis spirit's in there. On the nose, the dirtiness, the damp, the dunnage, all that kind of stuff. But when you come to the palate, I think the cask is taken over. It's all sherry. It's intense, it's powerful. It's raisins, it's coffee, it's chocolate, it's toffee, it's all sorts of stuff going on. Just a real fantastic whiskey, guys. So hopefully this video is going to put Ben Nevis, not that you need me to put Ben Nevis on the map, but if you've not tried any Ben Nevis, guys, search out some Ben Nevis. And it seems to be really nice at a young age. It's ready young. These are both 8-year-old Ben Nevises. Super stuff. So on that note, guys, I'm going to end this. I'd like to give a big shout out. I've just taken on extra three Patreons this week, so big shout out to them 3 guys. I will pop your names up on the screen. All my Patreons, big thanks to support. Guys, if you want to go and check out the Patreon support, dive on and have a little, pop all the links into the description. I've had such a good time doing these ones. It's probably going to be longer than I presumed it was going to be, but I don't care really. If you want to watch it to the end, then great. If you're still with me, then thanks for staying to the end. But other than that, guys, don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to dive in and give me comments. Comments, guys. I'd love to know if anybody have tried any of these Ballecchins, the Signatory vintage Ballecchins, or the MacDonalds Glencoe, or just any kind of Ben Nevis. Dive into the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are. It is hardcore whiskey, guys. It's not for the faint-hearted. It's for the really established malt heads. I think this is the kind of pinnacle of this little season I've just done, so I'm really thankful. As you can see, I've switched the wall round behind me, guys, so you think you might know what might be coming pretty soon. So we may be getting back on the sherry for a little bit. I'm going to try and mix up a bit this time. I'm not going to do just sherry. I'm going to mix a bit of peat in and a bit of sherry in, a bit of ex-bourbon cask in, so I'm going to try and mix it up a little bit just for the channel, keep it interesting. Other than that, I'm Alan. Thanks for watching. As always, guys, the pleasure is definitely in the sharing, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers, guys.